Good. I'll open it up to questions.
Anything on the film that changed your perspective one way or another from post-game?
No, I just feel like I don't feel like the execution was as good as it needed to be, and I felt like there were some opportunities offensively to make some plays that we didn't capitalize on, and so we've got to capitalize on the opportunities that we do have. So the film kind of was what I thought it was going to look like.
Were missed tackles in particular frustrating since that had been something?
Yeah. And that's, again, it's something that we continue to work on, but it's, look, some of it is technique fundamentals. Some of it is, there's a time and a place to take a shot, and there's a time and a place to make sure you're getting the guy down on the ground. So I think there's that, and then there's some plays in space that we just couldn't make.
Juwan said something, paraphrasing here, about just kind of finding the joy even in the struggle, and that's been your message. That, remember, it's kind of like a kid's game, and not don't put so much pressure on yourselves. Was that your message?
Well, yeah, the message a little bit this week was man, let's have fun playing this game. But I told the team in there today that the message now is man, there's got to be a sense of urgency. There's got to be a sense of urgency in everything that we do. We've got to get some things corrected, and there has to be a sense of urgency about doing that. And what we've done to this point has not been good enough. And so if we keep doing the same things and expect it to be different, that's the definition of insanity. So we've got to change the way we prepare. We've got to change the way we get ready to play a game. That's coaches, players, that's all of us. Because it hasn't been, up to the standard that we've had here.
I know it's just Monday, but I'm still going to ask, does that mean changes at any positions?
I think we got to look at everything. Yeah, I think we got to look at everything. So we'll and that'll be a process that we'll go through over the rest of today and tomorrow, and as we get ready for the Rams. We got a team that's coming in here that's similar in some ways in that they had high expectations for this season, and things haven't gone as well this year for them, and I think we're kind of in the same boat in that regard, and I think we got to get ready to get a win.
At the quarterback, the decision you're going to make at quarterback this week, is it strictly performance-based, or is there a health?
Look, I think there's
have to be healthy enough to be.
Well, certainly, yeah, absolutely. I feel like I think probably have to visit with him a little bit in terms of that, or visit with the medical staff in terms of that. But and I think Jameis said this the other day. I don't know that he's ever going to be 100% healthy this season, but he's in here every day. He's in here every morning. Working with the trainers, getting himself ready, and I feel like he's closer to being there.
Just to clarify, though, because you had kind of said, obviously he's healthy enough to play, he's active every game.
Yeah,
He's not
yeah.
on the report anymore. But you had made the decision to go with Andy while the offense was doing well.
And we haven't been doing as well in the last couple of weeks, and so I think we got to evaluate that. I think that's something that we need to look at. Yeah.
And Jameis is a candidate
Yeah.
to be ready to play if that's what you decide.
I believe so.
How much goes in, just kind of follow that up, knowing that you have significant issues maybe on the offensive line and a player that's been injured and hasn't played in a long time? How much, do you weigh those different factors?
Yeah, look, I think everything goes into the decision. I don't think any decisions are made, in a vacuum. But we've got to try to do what we feel like gives our team the best chance to win. And so that's ultimately what the decision will come down to.
And just to clarify, since I was kind of talking around it, you haven't made the decision yet?
No.
What do you do to address the penalties?
Yeah, I think look, it's fundamentals and technique in a lot of those areas. And so that has to be addressed in practice. That has to be worked in practice. And we'll work that until we can get it corrected. Penalties were there. I feel like they kind of were better for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, here we go again this week. We get, it creeps up on us. And look, the penalties, we're not able to overcome those. Like the defensive penalties, every defensive penalty, basically results in a first down. And especially the timing of those, like a lot of those penalties are, third down penalties, second and long penalties, where you're going to create some third and long situations. So, and a lot of those things came down to just some fundamentals and technique that we gotta improve on.
Accountability wise, have players stepped up and held each other to that standard enough to your liking, whether it's a leader or someone
I think we
else?
all have to do better.
Okay.
I think we all have to do better in terms of holding each other accountable. Because what we've done to this point hadn't been good enough.
Are there any players in particular that have really stepped up and done that throughout this whole process?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think it was well documented that Alvin stepped up a couple of weeks ago and addressed the team. I had a nice conversation with Cam, today. I mean, some of the leadership in our locker room. And look, ultimately, it falls on all of us, coaches, players, everybody, to hold each other to the standard that we've been used to around here. And we're not playing to that standard right now, and we have to be better.
Things like energy and that kind of stuff that you evaluate heading into a game, is that something that took a step back these last 2 weeks?
I don't think so. Look, I felt like we had a lot coming off the win against the Raiders. We went into the Monday night game, we didn't play as well as we are capable of playing, but I don't think that was a lack of energy issue. And really, I kind of think the same thing this week. I don't think we played as well as we, were probably capable of playing. But I don't think it's a lack of energy, no.
Do you feel like it's that similar phenomenon when a great hitter's in a hitting slump, like there's a pressing factor? And, that can happen in football too, can it, when guys are...
Yeah. Well, I think that was part of the message of this is we've been playing this game since we were little kids, and played for the love of the game, so yeah, I mean, it's a tough ass business that we're in, but it's still a good game, and you want everybody to have that fine line of perspective of we have to understand the business in the business of winning. And really, honestly, that's where the fun comes.
Are you hoping to get at least one starting offensive lineman back this week, or is there some confidence in?
Yeah, I don't know right now whether that's a possibility or not.
We're about to talk to Kate Nellis. I don't know if that's the schedule, but did he grade out as well as he flashed, I guess?
Yeah, look, I thought he did some really good things, which was nice to see. Look, I think, Cade Nellis getting an opportunity in a starting role. Zach Bond got his most extensive work, at linebacker. So there were some guys that I felt like, stepped up and played well and did some good things. And, hopefully we can continue to build on that.
The pass rush, 6 sacks is usually a good day, but I don't know if that's a deceptive stat. Is the pass rush doing a little better, or?
Well, 6 sacks is pretty good in a day. You're not going to sack them on every single play. I felt like there were some plays where we had the quarterback a little bit uncomfortable. I felt like there were some plays where we had some pressure. Certainly the play at the beginning of third quarter that he got out on a, man coverage call was a little frustrating. But that was, look, they, kind of got, they kind of slid a protection out and then came back on the nose and created a little bit of a seam. And he's a good athlete and got out and created a play. I think probably the disappointing thing, from a defensive perspective was there was really probably 3 drives or 3 opportunities, in the game that we had a chance to maybe pin them back down there and kind of change the field position for the offense. And we weren't able to do that, as well as we needed to.
When you're evaluating the run defense this year, have you seen just as many errors at the point of attack as you have in sort of the second level and the open field missed tackles, or has that added to more of the issues?
Well, yeah, I think there's some of that. I also think that, part of stopping the run is getting the game into a position where, when you're playing a team like we have the last couple of weeks and the opponents have attempted 40-plus runs in a game, because the run game is really kind of a compilation of, run it, and then eventually you pop one, and so you look at the games where we haven't, for the most part, done a great job of stopping the run. A lot of those times have been, when teams have been able to continually to try to pound the ball. So, but that's been an area that we've been much better at, and some of it is at the point of attack, and some of it's not stopping them on the second level. So it's just a compilation. Okay, thanks, guys.